Welcome to Nevada Neurology and Vascular Center. I'm Pauline Stolzner, and I'm going to discuss the benefits of exercise on the brain. The learning objectives are you will be able to state what exercise does for the brain, be able to decipher what kind of exercise is beneficial, and be able to state what age group of people it is beneficial for. There are a lot of health benefits of exercise we hear about for the body. Big ones include reducing the odds of developing heart disease, reducing risks of having a stroke, and reducing the risk of developing diabetes. But I bet you haven't heard about what exercise does for the brain. We have learned a lot over the past couple decades on animal studies of the underlying molecular and cellular changes, and there are a multitude of them. Exercise helps memory and thinking directly and indirectly, stemming from its ability to reduce insulin resistance, reduce inflammation, and stimulate growth factors, chemicals in the brain that affect new blood vessels, brain cells, and protect the new brain cells. Indirectly, exercise improves mood and sleep and reduces stress and anxiety. Problems in these areas cause and contribute to cognitive impairment. Exercise promotes new neurons being born in areas of the brain called the hippocampus. This area is involved in verbal memory and learning. Exercise also helps create new vascular structures and capillaries to supply additional blood to regions of the brain. Additionally, it also promotes new connections between neurons, increases neurotransmitters, and creates changes in proteins called neurotrophins, which are neuroprotective. There are a whole variety of changes that occur on the molecular and cellular level. Studies done include older, sedentary adults who were enrolled in a 6 to 12-month intervention program where first their brain was scanned using a magnetic resonance imaging machine, also known as an MRI. The MRI looked at both structure and function, and then the participants went through a 6-month or a year exercise training program, or in the control group, a stretching and toning program. In the exercise program, the participants started out walking 30 minutes, 3 days per week, and worked up to walking for 1 hour 3 days a week. The amount of exercise consisted of getting their heart rate up and producing a light sweat. None of the participants were winning races, but they ended up walking faster and further over time. At the end of the 6-month or 1-year interventions, the participants were put back into the MRI to scan their brain. They also got behavioral and psychological social testing done. The studies found that the individuals who got aerobic exercise and increased their fitness had growth in areas of the brain that typically decrease with age. Such areas were the hippocampus, the prefrontal cortex, and the parietal cortex. There were also increases in the efficiency of the neural networks, which were measured through functional MRI. Furthermore, there were positive chemical alterations and changes in the integrity of white matter tracts, which are axons that connect one region of the brain to another. These were found using a technique called magnetic resonance spectroscopy. So, there are a number of positive changes in the human participant research that mirror the animal studies. Research was also conducted on children and how exercise impacted their growing brains. The studies conducted on the kids were done as an intervention after school, 2 hours per day, 5 days a week, for a complete school year, from the end of August to the end of May. The children's structure and function of the brain was also analyzed using an MRI. The study also measured memory, attention, and decision-making. Additionally, the children's academic performance on various standardized tests, such as math and other subjects, were measured and compared to their less fit peers. The preliminary data found that the children who were more fit had larger brain regions that support the aspects of memory and did better in a variety of attentional tasks. So the notion of a dumb jock just doesn't cut it. Other areas that need to be explored in this field are programs that are developed for not only different age ranges, but different disease processes, such as Alzheimer's, strokes, Parkinson's, or multiple sclerosis. Also, how much exercise, what types of training, the optimal types of training, and how it should be combined with other lifestyle factors and choices, such as intellectual engagement, computer-based training, education through the lifespan, social interaction, as well as diet. So we need to look at the complexity of how we live our lives, rather than separating it into individual lifestyle factors. The takeaway message you should have gotten about exercise and the brain from a practical perspective is even if you are 80 years old, it's not too late to show benefit. And if you are a young person and you've never exercised before, you can also show great benefit. Additionally, the type of exercise that's needed is relatively modest. Nobody's going out and running marathons or triathlons. The people in the studies were simply walking more, or for the children, playing games. These are pretty modest exercise changes that lead to pretty impressive changes in learning, memory, and cognitive changes. Thank you for listening and gaining new knowledge to help you better understand how exercise affects the brain. For Nevada Neurology and Vascular Center, I'm Pauline Stolzner.